The 4v1 Rondo is a fantastic exercise to work on improving the fundamentals for players at all levels of the game, from grassroots right up to professional standard. If done with focus, intensity and quality, the exercise addresses players' first touch, body position, angles of support, weight of passing, and decision making under pressure. You can see in this exercise that we're using bibs instead of cones, as they don't tend to impact the roll of the ball or get in the way. But cones are also fine. If you don't have cones or bibs, you can still run this exercise by just estimating the size of the space. You can vary the size of the space to encourage different areas of focus. A smaller area forces quicker thinking and decision making, whereas a larger area gives you more time on the ball and the opportunity to work on passing the ball firmer over longer distances. The video currently shows a 5-yard square, but you can reduce the space to as small as a 4-yard square, which is very tight, or increase it to a maximum of an 8-yard square. You can see here in this 8-yard square that there's more time for the players on the ball and a lot less pressure. Makes it much easier to keep the ball. You should adjust the space of the square based on the age and skill level of your players, as well as your needs in terms of what you want them to get from the exercise. Again, a smaller space is more difficult and forces quicker thinking, whereas a larger square gives you more time, less pressure, and the option to work on passing the ball with more power. As well as manipulating the size of the space, you can also vary the number of touches players are allowed. Using a 2-touch maximum gives players the option to either play quickly with 1 touch, or take a touch to control and then pass with their second touch. Using a 1-touch version, on the other hand, forces players to think very quickly, but it doesn't work on their first touch in terms of controlling the ball. The other option is a mandatory 2-touch version, where the players have to take 2 touches every time they get the ball, so the process is control pass, control pass. The benefit of forcing players to take 2 touches is that it basically pushes them to pass the ball with more power, to give the player receiving it time to control and then pass it again before they are closed down by the defender. In addition, it encourages players to use deception in terms of their body shape when receiving the ball in order to fool the defender, who will often try to anticipate where the first touch or next pass is likely to go. There are a couple of key things to notice. Player movement and positioning are important to give the receiving player an angle for options to pass. This obviously makes it difficult for the defender to read and intercept either option. Receiving the ball across your body with your back foot is also very important, and while it cannot always be done based on the angle and proximity of the defender, players should aim to receive the ball across their body with their back foot as often as possible and pass with their other foot. Getting used to using both feet to receive and pass accurately is another massive benefit of this exercise. Although it's a basic and fundamental exercise, no player or team is too good to work on it. It remains important from the youngest ages and the lowest levels up to older players at the highest level of the game. Nobody's first touch, not even Messi, is perfect 100% of the time, and so there's always room for improvement. There's no question that this exercise is one that will continue to benefit your players the more you do it, so stick with it and you'll see improvement over time.